teachers and faculty, AISL board, proud parents, and of course, my soon-to-be fellow alumni, thank you for inviting me to speak here today. Not only is it a great honor, but also I've managed to work it into every single conversation I've had for the past month, making me pretty cool in the office, I would say. Students, congratulations on the education that you have received and earned. Parents, congratulations on surviving AIS school fees. I know the graduation speeches are meant to inspire and leave you fired up. And inspiration is wonderful, but I'd like to try something a little different. You've made it through AIS, and we're all here to celebrate your success. But today, I'd like to talk to you about failure. Specifically, I'd like to talk to you about my personal failures, the lessons I've learned, and how these lessons help me think about problems that we face in the world today. I love this school. I'll never forget the excitement of Nigerian Culture Day, how much fun PE classes were. I've seen a few familiar faces here still that to me serve as the anchors of the school. Like so many of you, I've grown up moving around the world. But what really stood out for me when I started at AIS was the immediate sense of belonging. I'll never forget it. Many of the friends I've made here are still my closest friends to date. So this means a lot to me, and I will try not to mess it up. If there was a least likely candidate for failure, it was probably me. Okay? Student president here, a student president when I went on to boarding school, straight A's for most of my pre-college career. Then I got to my dream college, the University of Chicago, and my grades just couldn't cut it. Right? It went downhill for a while. I was asked to leave college at the end of my second year. And that was the greatest personal failure that I had ever endured to date. But it taught me things I use till this day. 4 lessons in particular that I'd like to share with you. Firstly, choose the long way. When I was in 8th grade here, in AIS, there was an exam we took to skip Algebra 2 and move straight to geometry. Now, I didn't pass that exam by 2 points, so I remember standing in the courtyard begging my then math professor, the math teacher, Mr. Marks, to let me move on to geometry. So he said to me, you know what, I'm gonna let you move on, but I'm gonna tell you that taking this shortcut isn't advisable. That you may do well now, but later it could come back to bite you. And I listened, I nodded, I said, yeah, whatever. I had succeeded. Ultimately, I went on to do pretty well, but then he was right, ultimately. It came back to bite me. I arrived at university, chose a tremendously quantitative degree, and was unprepared. What he was trying to tell me all those years ago is nicely summed up by one of my favorite authors, James Joyce. He writes, think you are escaping and run into yourself. Longest way round is the shortest way home. No shortcuts. Second lesson, pay attention to your community. After I was asked to leave the University of Chicago, I struggled. In a sense, I lost my sense of identity. And I needed someone, or probably a few people, to believe in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. My family lifted me up. That's when I realized that they loved me more than I had done enough to deserve, and certainly more than evolution required. Now, everything I do in my life is optimized to show up and to show love to the people that I know will always lift me up. Family, which often includes people who don't share your last name, is the richness of life. Here with you today and here to celebrate you are many of these people who will lift you up. Even if you haven't been through a trying time, appreciate them every single day. Third, take second chances seriously. When I was asked to leave Chicago, they gave me a second chance. They told me that if I could spend a year proving that I still had the academic rigor to put up to graduate, then I could come back. So I spent the year in London and in Geneva working really hard to show what I was capable of. I was allowed to return, and I excelled. We all make mistakes, sometimes bigly, to borrow the vocabulary of our current U.S. president. I realized how different my life could have turned out if I hadn't been given that second chance. And many of you here today will end up in positions where you have the power to give second chances. Please do, and do so generously. Life is tough, and sometimes we all need a little undeserved grace, a little magic. Fourth lesson. The other thing I learned is to look at others with great imagination and to be kind. The year I spent out of college, no one could tell that anything was wrong, but I was really struggling. Humans are weird like that. We can go through tremendous suffering and show no signs of it. This, my friends, is the case for kindness. When someone is rude to you at the supermarket, that's not cue for you to lash out. That's cue for you to take a pause and to imagine all the ways that they are suffering themselves. Even when things look like they're going well for people, there is still a sense that people are carrying some version of a broken dream. That's your prompt to put yourself in their shoes and be kind. As you get older, this will become easier, using your imagination. And being kind is not some lofty ideal that we should always aspire to. It's real. It's a skill we can practice every day. It's anything from giving up your seat on a crowded train to reaching out when someone is new and struggling to find their feet. And sometimes it's as simple as paying attention. You are more resilient than recent or past experiences can allow you to imagine. You need to know this, but I cannot shield you from the truth. You'll have to learn just how tough you are the hard way, at least the first time. I want you to succeed, I really do. But in the inevitable event that your life takes, that the script of your life takes some detour, know that we survive everything. In fact, if you remember nothing else from this speech, remember that. We survive everything. And we do it by applying kindness to ourselves and to others. I'm almost done. So a couple of days ago, I was in the car, and I was thinking about one of my aunts who had been with me during that difficult time in my life. And one day she came to my room and she sat with me and she prayed and she told me that everything was going to be okay. That I would become the exact person I wanted to be. And so I wondered, how did she know? Because right now I'm doing so much of what I wanted to do, but I couldn't see far enough during that period. So I got home and she was there, and so I asked her, Auntie, how did you know that I was going to be okay all those years ago? So she leaned forward, she took a deep breath, and I waited for the wisdom, and she said, I didn't know. What I did know is that I pray for people I care about. I prayed for you then, and I kept you in my prayers. People did the same for me, and it always lifted me up. So I too want to pray for you. I care deeply about your success. We are part of the same fabric. So here goes. I pray that you tell the truth. Tell the truth about this place, about this school and this country that is now a part of you. And most importantly, that you tell the truth about yourself. I pray that you find your voice, no matter how long it takes, and it could take some time. And when you do, I pray that you use it to stick up for yourself and for those around you. I pray that you hunger enough to keep searching until you find the love of your life. And when you do, I pray that you have the courage to fight for it, even when things don't go according to plan. May you be blessed and kept safely. And may you be used for the betterment of humanity. My dear students, you are the best this country has to offer. I'm going to say it again. You are the best this country has to offer. And I mean that whether or not you have a Nigerian passport or not, you've been through this school, this country, and it's become a part of you. You have some tough problems ahead of you to solve. Problems of inequality, climate change, the humanization of artificial intelligence. Remember what you learned in this school. Remember that you can survive anything. And remember that you will be exactly who you want to be. Congratulations, and thank you again.